Mrs. Harford was a veteran trade unionist, public servant, community activist, wife and mother, who also served as president of the Grenada Trades Union Council. According to reports, the former president of the Grenada Public Workers Union died on Friday, July 7th in Germany, where she was seeking medical care. Mrs. Harford served in diverse capacities in government, rising to the role of prominent secretary. After her retirement, she was elected president of the Grenada Public Workers Union. She will be remembered as a committed trade union leader, championing workers' rights, and an avid supporter of youth development. Raymond Roberts, a former general secretary during Mrs. Harford's tenure as TUC president, expressed sadness on her passing.
Certainly I'm shocked like many others of her passing. I knew she was challenged with health, but certainly, like everything else, we were optimistic. I would think she offered motherly advice to many of us who were under her stewardship. In terms of the leadership of the movement, we had many trying times. And I think what she brought was a rational mind, a mind to interact with all sectors of the society. As you know, at times, trade union, government, private sector, we could all have, very, I would say, extreme positions. And I think she did well to have kept all parties, whenever we dialogue, social partners, whatever it was. I think her legacy would be rich in that respect, as a person who provided leadership based on rationality, not on emotion.
Mrs. Harford was also the vice president of the Caribbean Congress of Labor, a capacity in which she served with diligence. Roberts said two things that stood out about Mrs. Harford was her religious beliefs and socializing, something she demonstrated among workers, and that, in his view, built a sense of camaraderie. Her husband, Basil Harford, deceased, was also president of the Public Workers Union.
Without any doubt, that husband and wife pair, their legacy in the history, in the annals of the trade union movement in Grenada, will be one that generations will, when they research it, will find areas that they would want to pattern their leadership and their life. Even though the world has evolved, there are some qualities that they would have left on the annals of the trade union movement in Grenada, which I think could help grow the movement. So, Brian Grimes, the leader of public workers and vice president of TUC, Andre, the president, I'm sure they will find a way to enrich the young people in particular, that trade union movement is not just what some people make it at time confusion. It's a rich organization. The legislation that makes you get holidays and respect you as a worker, all that came from the trade union movement.
Current president of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, shared these sentiments on Mrs. Harford's passing.
With beyond a shadow of a doubt, she is the greatest nurturer I ever came across. What does that mean? In terms of being selfless and just wanting the best for everybody on her team, I have never come across a person within the trade union movement who does it better than her. For me personally, I can give individual stories, but I consider her, Miss Harford, she is my trade union mother. She birthed me into the trade union movement. She is a great loss for our country. It's a great loss for our movement, but I think, and I know actually, that Miss Harford would want us to move forward with purpose and celebrate her life rather than mourn too deeply in sorrow. We must mourn out of respect because it is a great loss, but we have to gather ourselves together and be strong.
Grimes said if there is something he would like to adopt in her honor, it's to conduct more development workshops. Christina John, GBN News.